Hey guys, Anthony here for Rev3 Games, and thank God the #1 complaint about Skyrim was finally addressed this week. Skyrim was just too small a game, am I right? Nothing to do in Skyrim. Well, they released the first expansion pack this week, DAWNGUARD, which either puts you in control of a member of the DAWNGUARD, the elite group of vampire hunters, or makes you a vampire lord, which is very different from being a vampire the way it is already. Both paths take you down a very extensive quest line. Between a couple of us here at the office, we have powered through the expansion pack, and we liked it a lot. So I'm going to start with Vampire Lord. Vampire Lord, I think, is definitely better if you are somebody who's kind of maxed out your character and feel like there's nowhere to go in terms of growth. Vampire Lord is also the most initially rewarding path of the two, because the second you become a Vampire Lord, you get all kinds of crazy new stuff, including an entirely new perk tree and a bunch of new skills. So basically, Vampire Lord can do things like, oh, I'm going to turn into mist, and I'm going to raise up dead horses whenever I want, and I'm going to fly around and look all scary and ugly. And you get most of that stuff right off the bat. So if you have nowhere else to go in terms of upgrading, this is the one for you. As a member of the DAWNGUARD, I think it's a little more satisfying for people who are mid-range characters or maybe still leveling up. And it's also for people who haven't really explored as much or all of Skyrim, because basically the DAWNGUARD quest line is very, very similar to one of your guild quest lines, like the Thieves Guild or the Fighters Guild, something along those lines. So when you first join the DAWNGUARD, you go to Fort DAWNGUARD, and it's kind of in disarray, and you spend the whole time kind of going out and searching Skyrim for people who are going to be able to help you build up the fort. The other reason why I think DAWNGUARD is more for people who haven't really squeezed everything out of Skyrim yet is that the quests are going to feel super familiar to you, right? If you've played all the way through Skyrim, then you know how a guild's quest line goes. You're doing a lot of running out, finding people, fetching things, exploring new areas. But if you have already leveled up and gone through, that stuff is going to seem very familiar to you. Both quest lines do tell different sides of the same story, so you're going to visit a lot of the same locations. There are some new locations, including obviously Fort DAWNGUARD. There is a vampire castle where all the creepy vampires live, and you actually go to like the Plains of Oblivion and some other cool places that were previously just missed on your map. So my favorite of the two was definitely the DAWNGUARD quest line. There was something about the vampire quest where when you start off so super overly powered, there's kind of like nowhere to go, right? Like, I enjoyed getting the new skills, but not as much as I kind of like exploring and running around as a member of the DAWNGUARD.
Never seen a crossbow before, eh? Not surprised. Kind of a DAWNGUARD specialty. As
a DAWNGUARD member or a Vampire Lord, you automatically get a crossbow when you start off, but if you stick with DAWNGUARD, you get to upgrade your crossbow and build onto it and improve its capabilities. You also get armored troll companions, which is awesome, but more in theory than in actuality. The troll companions are kind of cool, but they're very slow. Their pathfinding abilities are kind of weird. Getting around with them and kind of coaxing them along is a little hard, but once you actually get them into a battle, it's awesome. I just stood on one side of a bear while my troll stood on the other side of a bear, and we were just slapping this bear in the face, and it just died like that. So that's kind of rad. What else are you gonna find? You're gonna find some new creatures in there. You're gonna find some new legendary dragons. If you are a werewolf, you get a similar perk tree and play style as the Vampire Lord. So you get a whole new set of skills. So that's something that you might also want to consider too if you have a fully leveled up character. Just improve your werewolfness. Harness your inner Michael J. Fox. Overall, I really enjoyed DAWNGUARD. You know, a lot of people have been saying, I don't know that I'm gonna buy it because there's so much more left in Skyrim. I have so much more left to do. But I think most people at this point have exhausted a lot of the really deep quest lines, and most of the stuff that we have left is like, oh, did you find my bucket in the water for me? Like, you don't want to do that anymore. So it's kind of nice to have like an entirely new deep quest line to kind of send you around the map again and make the game fun again. Is it worth 20 bucks? Yeah, I think so, because you're gonna get 10 to 20 hours on each side. So you can play through as DAWNGUARD, go back, play through as a Vampire Lord. You're gonna play through some areas and locations and quests again, but I don't think it's gonna be that repetitive, and it's a lot of new gameplay for Skyrim. It's out right now for the 360, PC, and PS3 coming soon. Have you picked this one up? Are you gonna pick it up? How does it look to you? Let us know down below in the comments, and be sure to subscribe here at Rev3 Games. We do 90 Skyrim videos every day. That's not true, but we do a lot of game videos, and I think that you will like them.